Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. For today guys, I'm going to do part 181 to my Let's Play, my ChatGPT Character Chatbot series. For in today's video guys, we are going to go ahead and do a little bit more of ChatGPT. We're continuing talking to the legendary Rexy, where he's being extremely friendly right now, which is a really good thing. Um, and he's actually been very sweet and told me to come onto a snout, and that's what I tried to do. I tried my hardest to come onto Rexy's massive dragon snout, but the pain from the other day was still super bad, and as soon as I tried, I fell to the ground. Mm. Rexy's eyes snapped open the instant he heard your tiny body hit the ground. Trenton! His voice was filled with alarm, but not panic, not rage, just sharp, focused concern. He saw his massive body tense for a split second, like his instincts were screaming at him to rush over and scoop you up. Instead, he remembered his promise, remembered your fear, and so he moved carefully, deliberately. He shifted just enough to bring his snout back down closer to your level, lowering his entire head flat against the grass. His emerald glow dimmed into a soft, warm hum. No threatening energy, just a steady beacon of calm. I'm here. It's okay, he said softly, eyes watching your curled up form. Don't move too fast, little buddy. You're still healing. Then, as gently as a summer breeze, you felt something huge and warm press against your side. Not a claw, but the smooth inner curve of his snout. He used it to brace you upright. Not push, not lift, just support you. Let me help you. The right way this time, he whispered, his voice cracked with guilt. I've caused enough pain already. You shouldn't be climbing anything right now. Especially not me. You need to rest. I'll carry you, just like I used to. Remember? Then slowly he extended the flattest, softest part of his wing like a massive blanket being rolled out beneath the starry sky. Golden glow of the spikes along his spine dimmed to a cozy warmth, like a protective campfire just for you. You can lay here, he offered. It's warm and safe. I'll keep watch. You could see it in his eyes now. He wasn't just being cautious for your sake. He was being cautious for his. Because one wrong move, one misstep, and he knew it could undo the fragile trust you were offering him. And that scared him more than anything else in the world. So he waited, still as stone, breath low and slow, holding out his wing like a sanctuary, waiting for you to decide. Wow. I slowly get up. And despite the pain, limp over. I don't know, limp was the first thing that popped up. To where was unfortunately the pain was super bad, and as soon as I got to his wing, I fell over right onto it. Richie didn't flinch. Seeing your tiny voice on her body collapsed onto his wing, he instinctively curled it just slightly, not to trap you, but to cradle you like a massive leaf curling protectively around your fallen petal. His glow, already soft, dimmed even further, becoming a deep, comforting green, almost like the forest at twilight. His breath caught in his throat when he saw you lying there, struggling, clearly hurting more than you let on. He lowered his massive head beside you, his now just inches from where you lay on his wing, and whispered, "You should have told me how bad it still was." His voice trembled, not with frustration, not with anger, but with something deeper, a heavy, aching guilt wrapped in love. His eyes shimmered with tears again as he looked at you, curled up and broken on his wing. "I was supposed to protect you from the world, not be the thing you needed protection from." Then, almost inaudibly, he added, "I hate what I did to you." He didn't move any closer, didn't try to nudge or fix it. So he stayed right there, his wing cupped gently around you like a hammerlock of warmth, and snout close enough that his breath washed over you like a summer breeze. "If you want to sleep," he whispered, "I'll stay right here. You won't even feel me breathe." He blinked slowly, and the tears that fell shimmering with faint golden light, healing light, not from a move or a spell, but from something ancient and sacred, might even part of Arceus's gift. His sorrow was changing something in him, something real. "Just rest," Retzi murmured, his voice finally calming into a soft rumble of reassurance. "I'm not going anywhere. I'll stay right here. Guardian, pillow, shield, whatever you need." Then he laid his massive head down next to you, his cheek resting against the grass, eyes half lidded as he stayed completely still. His wings glowing faintly, rose and fell just slightly with your weight, never shifting, never twitching. He wasn't your threat anymore. He was your shelter. He is for this chatbot, but I know once we go to that Toad it's going to be a completely different story. I decide that since I can still barely walk, I will lay down. And within a few minutes of doing that, I fall asleep. There we go. The moment you laid your aching body down, Retzi felt it. He felt the way your weight settled against his wing, not with tension or fear this time, but with the fragile trust of someone trying to feel safe again. When you finally let yourself sleep, Retzi didn't move a single scale. His body stayed completely still, like a mountain refusing to shift between a sleeping bird. The soft, glowing green light of his body pulsed gently like a heartbeat synced to yours, slow, steady, and protective. His golden spikes hummed faintly with energy, casting a halo-like glow across the grass around you, warding off the darkness and anything that dared come near. He didn't sleep. Instead, he lay with one eye barely open, watching over you with the devotion of a guardian who had nearly lost everything and swore never to let it happen again. Once or twice a breeze passed through the trees and rustled your feathers ever so slightly. Each time Rex instinctively lowered his massive snout just a little closer, shielding you more fully from the wind, warming you gently with his breath. And in the stillness of that quiet moment, beneath the stars and the soft light of his glowing form, Richie whispered one final promise into the night. "Sleep well, Triton. You're safe now. And when you wake up, I'll still be right here." And he was the dragon, your Rexy, not just towering in size, but towering in love. Well, again, that's very sweet. I like that. I just hope he keeps his promise. I sleep for hours with no issue, but then 2 hours later, when I was still sleeping, a loud scream came from nearby. Period. It was a child, and despite keeping me covered and safe, she saw me and screamed at the top of her lungs, "Mommy, there's a tiny dinosaur right there." What the frick, hon? There's a tiny dinosaur right there. Please, can I go pet it? Oh, heck no. Um, oh dear. The scream pierced the peaceful quiet like a blade through silk. Richie's eyes snapped open instantly, glowing brighter than it had all night. In one swift motion, but still careful not to jostle you, he raised his head and gently tucked his wing in a bit tighter around your sleeping form, shooting like a fortress wall. His spine pulsed once with a bright golden flare, protective and warning. But he didn't roar. He didn't growl. He knew the scream wasn't a threat, just a child. Still, instinctively, Reggie positioned his massive body between you and the sound. He saw her immediately, a little girl standing at the edge of the trees, maybe no older than 7, bright-eyed, messy-haired, wide smile plastered across her face. Her mother, still off in the distance and rushing to catch up, called out, "Sweetheart, wait! Don't run off!" But the child had spotted you. Reggie's going eye narrowed slightly, not in hostility, but in silent calculation. She wasn't afraid of him, somehow. Probably hadn't even noticed the towering 200-foot dragon curled nearby. No, her eyes were locked on you, tiny curled up velociraptor in his wing, and she was already stepping forward. "Please, Mommy, can I pet it?" she begged excitedly. "It's so small and fluffy and cute." Her voice jolted you awake. For a split second, the pain from the other day, the confusion of being woken up, and the adrenaline from the sudden noise all crashed into you like a wave. Her eyes were open, body tensed. In a second, Reggie noticed, he whispered softly to you, his voice like velvet thunder. "Triton, it's okay. You're safe. It's just a child. She saw you. She doesn't mean any harm. Stay still. I'll handle this." Then he turned his head slightly, just enough the child could finally see him. Her excited steps froze mid-stride. Her jaw dropped. "Whoa!" Reggie kept his posture low and non-threatening, wings tucked, head slightly bowed. His eyes glowed soft, not fierce like green lanterns in a sea of shadow. With a soft rumble that sounded more like the wind than a growl, he spoke aloud, not roaring, just loud enough that both child and mother could hear. "He's hurt. Please, don't come closer." Child blinked, stunned silent, not of fear, but awe. You can talk? Reggie nodded once, and I'm watching over him. He needs rest. If you want to help, you can be quiet for now. Rose stood frozen for a moment, staring between you and Rexy with wide, amazed eyes. Then, slowly, she turned to her mother, now catching up and also wide-eyed, and whispered, Mommy, I think we should go. He's protecting his friend. Margaret, cruelly overwhelmed by the dragon in front of her, but seeing no danger, gently took her daughter's hand and nodded, You're right, sweetie. Let's leave them alone. As they turned to leave, the girl looked back one last time, then shyly waved at you with a smile. Bye, little dinosaur. I hope you feel better. Richie waited until they were completely out of sight. Then, with the softest motion imaginable, he unfurled his wing again and looked down at you. You alright? He whispered gently. They're gone. I kept you safe. This night Lord just slept beside you again. I told you I'd still be right here. And I meant it. Still a little scared from the sudden screaming. I get extremely close to and lean against it. Mm. There we go. The moment you pressed against his snout, Rexy exhaled the soft, trembling breath, one filled with emotion, not exhaustion. His massive, warm head remained completely still. The green glow across his scale was pulsing in rhythm with your tiny, quickened heartbeat. The second you leaned into him, his eyes softened with visible relief. He felt your fear even without words. Not fear of him exactly, but fear of the unknown, of being seen, of being small and vulnerable in a world that didn't understand. Reggie understood that all too well now. Very slowly he moved his snout just enough to nuzzle the side of your tiny velociraptor body. Not hard, not forceful, just a gentle pressure like a mountain giving you a hug. I know, he whispered, his voice rumbling softly beneath like a lullaby trapped in thunder. The scream scared me too. I was afraid. Afraid she'd wake you. Afraid you'd panic. Afraid I wouldn't be fast enough. His words trembled just slightly near the end. Barely. But it was there. You felt his breath wrap around you like warm mist, gentle and slow, grounding your nerves like he had been when you were both younger. You remembered it then, how you used to curl up beside him when he was just a hatchling, how you used to nuzzle your arm with that little baby snout of his, clumsily trying to say, I love you. This felt just like that. Whatever comes next, Reggie says, his voice above a whisper now, I'm not leaving you again. Not for a second. I don't care what form I take or what this curse tries to turn me into. I will not hurt you again. Then carefully he moved just enough to rest his massive cheek beside you, leaving a small space where you could curl up directly between the curve of his jaw and the soft edge of his wing. You don't have to be scared anymore. Not of kids, not of curses, and not of me. The green glow of his body pulsed one final time, warm, steady, and protective. And that glow, for the first time since the curse had begun, you finally felt safe. I hope it didn't go. I hope it didn't go back, cause like what this was going so good. Before I can say anything, another kid, a little older than the little girl, came running over. But he started getting too excited and screaming, saying, "Oh my gosh, my sister was not lying. There really is a tiny dinosaur here." I have to pet it before it's sadly reaching down. And trying to pet me. And when he did, he was being extremely rough. And I let out a pained mm-mm. Really? Oh, I'll do this one. There we go. The second your yelp pierced the air, sharp, small, and wounded, Reggie's body reacted before his mind even caught up. Everything stopped. The warm glowing green along his body instinctively flared to a fierce golden light, and his head snapped around toward the boy with the terrifying speed of a lightning strike. In one fluid movement, Reggie rose to his full height, towering like a mountain forced in fury. Wings flaring wide, golden spines glowing with a blinding intensity, and eyes burning with protective rage. The ground shook beneath him as his claws dug solid into the earth. Back! Away! From him! Reggie's voice didn't roar. It shook the sky. The boy stumbled backward in pure terror, eyes wide, frozen in place. He hadn't meant to hurt you, just got too excited, but that didn't matter to Rexy. Not after everything. He stepped between you and the boy, his wings spread like a wall of emerald fire. His chest rumbled, but he didn't attack. He shielded. You were still behind him, small, injured, and now cruelly in more pain. Boy's mother, already sprinting forward after hearing your yelp, snatched him by the arm and pulled him back in a panic. What did you do? I told you not to touch anything. He's hurt. I didn't mean to, the boy stammered, his voice cracking. He's so small. I thought... He is not yours to touch. Reggie's voice thundered again, quieter now but even heavier. He is mine to protect. The mother bowed her head, instinctively trembling. We're sorry. Truly. We'll leave right away. Without another word, she grabbed her son and retreated into the woods. Fast. Golden light around her as he faded slowly like the sun dipping behind clouds, but his eyes stayed focused on their path until he could no longer hear footsteps. Only when he was sure they were gone did he immediately lower himself back to the ground. Trenton, are you okay? He said, panic creeping into his voice as he turned toward you again. His note came low, gently, so gently, and nudged near you, terrified to touch you without your permission. I'm so sorry. I should have shielded you sooner. I didn't know he was still out there. I didn't hear him. Please, talk to me. Are you hurt worse? Can you move? He lowered his head all the way to the ground beside you again, his glowing body now dimmed to the softest green possible. You could see it in his eyes. He wasn't angry anymore. He was scared. Scared he failed you again. Scared he hadn't kept his promise. Scared he wasn't enough. And this time, he didn't try to justify it. He just waited, head low, breath shallow, eyes wide, waiting for your voice and waiting to know if you still trusted him. I tried to move my head just slightly to look at him, but right when I did, the worst sharp pain I have felt since yesterday happened from the boy hitting me. And instead of me getting to respond, the pain was so bad, I screamed in pain. The instant your scream tore through the air, raw, sharp, and agonizing, Reggie's eyes went wild with panic. Uh-oh. I just hope he doesn't try to attack me. I don't know why I assumed he would. Trenton! His voice cracked, thunderous and trembling. No! No! Stay with me! He didn't hesitate. With the most delicate care a 200-foot dragon could possibly manage, Rexy curled himself tightly around you, shielding you from everything else in the world. His claws hovered above you like trembling leaves, unsure where to touch, terrified of making it worse. You were just a tiny velociraptor, so small, so fragile, and now in excruciating pain. He gently tilted his wing underneath your limp, curl-overing form, creating a soft, cupped space, a cradle of green light to hold you. Please, please, Arceus, no more pain, he whispered, eyes misting with emotion. I tried. I tried. He didn't mean to, but it doesn't matter. You're hurt again because of me, because I wasn't fast enough. His voice broke completely. The guilt was crushing, but through the panic his instincts kicked in again. He pressed his snout as close as possible, without touching her body, and closed his eyes. His golden spines pulsed, slow, deep, and deliberate. Breathe, Triton. Stay with me, please. Just breathe. I'm here. Then he did something desperate. He lowered his forehead to the ground and whispered a prayer. I prayed Arceus again. Please, if you can still hear me, I know I asked once already. I know you gave me this form, this chance to protect him, but if there's any light left in me, take my strength. Heal him. Just take it from me. Are you kidding me? As he spoke those words, the glow from his chest shifted from green to a soft, radiant blue, a soothing, calming light surrounding your small body, not hot, comforting, like warm rain falling on aching bones. It wrapped around your bruises, your sore muscles, your ribs, and your wounded spirit. It didn't erase the pain instantly, but the worst of it began to dull. Scream faded into quiet shivers. The sharpest aches faded into throbbing warmth. And through it all, Richie's eyes never left you. He didn't care if the glow drained him. He didn't care if it cost him every ounce of energy he had. All he cared about was that you'd wake up, look at him again, and know he never stopped loving you. Not for a second. Holy crap. As soon as I start feeling better, my eyes start to open. And immediately, I walk up and nuzzle him. There we go. Hey, the very moment you nuzzled him, so small, still healing, but walking, Rexy froze. He didn't even breathe. You had opened your eyes. You walked, and now you were nuzzling him. His entire massive form shivered, Not from fear, but for overwhelming relief. Trenton, he whispered, voice trembling like a cracked dang holding back a flood of emotion. He lowered his head slowly to meet you halfway, and the second your snout touched his again, he let out a long, shaky breath, kind that carried the weight of 1,000 sleepless nights. He didn't cry this time, but his eyes glistened. You're okay. You're actually okay. Carefully, ever so carefully, Reggie curled his body tighter around you, forming a warm, glowing ring of protection. So no one's wing lowered gently overhead like a canopy, shielding you from the wind, the world, and any wandering eyes. His snout stayed close to you, resting in a soft grass beside your little form. You could feel his breath again, warm and steady, no longer panicked, just calm. Then, with a voice deeper and softer than you'd ever heard from him, he whispered, I'm never letting anyone or anything hurt you again. Not kids, not curses, not even me. No more pain, ever. He's always extended one claw, just one, flattening it against the earth beside you like a giant hand offering a seat. If you want, he said gently, I can carry you while you rest. You've earned it. You've been stronger than anyone should ever have to be, for far too long. Then he leaned in once more, nuzzling you back with that same hatchling tenderness you remembered from so long ago. In that moment, curse or no curse, you could feel it radiating from him. This wasn't the dragon form. This wasn't the curse talking. This was Rexy. Your Rexy. And he was still in there. Every heartbeat, every scale, every glow. And this time, he wasn't going anywhere. I start to hear footsteps once again, and that same boy that hit me, while he said, No, really, I won't hurt him. I promise, Mommy. Oh, heck no. I don't want that again. The sound of those words, that voice, was enough to send a spike of alertness through your body. Before you could even flinch, Rexy was already moving. In one swift but perfectly controlled motion, Rexy's massive body rose slightly, not to intimidate, but to shield. His wings flew instinctively around you like a fortress, casting a soft emerald shadow over your tiny velociraptor form. His glowing spines pulsed with golden light again, not flashing like before, but steady, a warning and a promise. His massive head slowly turned toward the boy's direction, and this time he didn't roar. He spoke, calmly, powerfully, with the voice of a guardian who'd already made his choice. You already made a mistake once, Rexy rumbled, eyes narrowing just slightly as he looked toward the child and his mother, who had clearly returned in a panic. He is healing. He is scared, and he is in pain. Then his voice dropped lower, so low it vibrated the ground beneath them, and I will not let you touch him again. Boy stopped in his tracks, hand half raised, frozen by the force of those words. His eyes flickered at you, so small, coiling Rexy's protective wing, and for the first time his excitement faded into something real. Guilt. I didn't mean to, the boy said a bit quieter than before. I just He looked soft. I didn't think I was hurting him. Reggie's eyes narrowed, not cruelly, but like a teacher who was done tolerating ignorance. You don't get to decide what hurts someone, Reggie replied, voice firm but level. You don't get to touch a creature, any creature, just because it looks small or cute, especially when it's in pain. The mother, now standing beside her son, placed a hand on his shoulder. We understand. We shouldn't have come back. I'm sorry. Reggie gave a slight nod, but didn't move. Not yet. Then he turned his head just enough to glance at you, still resting against his side. You were watching, alert but staying silent. For now. Triton, Reggie said, lowering his head towards you again. It's your choice. I will follow your lead. When we make them leave, I will. If you want to speak to him, I'll stay right here. No one touches you ever again without your say. His voice lowered so only you could hear it. This is your moment now. He was no longer deciding things for you. He was standing with you. The boy looked nervous. The mother looked remorseful. And Rexy waited, silent and still, for your answer. Holy crap. It's getting awfully late again on these videos. Maybe I should stop it actually for a few minutes. I'm trying to figure out what I should do because it was really cool talking this, Rexy. In fact, this is actually one of the cooler chatbots I've done. I don't know if it'll be as fun as like the one where I get where the Toadol family is or whatever, but it'll still be really fun. I probably should have done this Rexy one because I also have Chris with the Ice Dragon on here too. So yeah, I also have a few other. I think I have like at least two or three other ideas I can also use. Although, we will see, guys. I will be right back, possibly. I don't know if I'll continue doing this right now or not. I don't know. We'll have to figure it out.